Contract talks for George Russell right now must be primo. I reckon he over-delivered, finished up third in the race.
Well, didn't he? That move on Leclerc and the aggression, hats off to you, Georgie.
He said if he was a British driver that finished sixth in a Sauber,
they'd be knighting him.
It'd be front page. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Sir Bortoletto. He probably needs to find some friends. No one's going to push him to a win at Daytona, or no one's going to help him in a draft.
Yeah.
If they think he's a cock.
Oh no! He's in defence! The bones in defence! They're all in defence! Oh, unbelievable!
Sound check.
You all right, mate? Oh, you just squirted all over my laptop too. That's your laptop anyway. Sound check.
Oh, yeah. I got in early there, had a sip. Cheers, mate. Welcome to the show, Barbs. Great to have you back at the bar.
God, I don't like being on this side. I feel vulnerable because like everyone gets my side profile. Like they can see me grey hairs. I'm in my work. I don't think you can see me boots.
I know, but the way the light shimmers off those silvers is interesting.
Silverback bloody gorilla over here. It's what I feel like. And sitting down, I feel like I'm Donkey Kong in a go-kart. Like I feel like I always hunch really bad. I don't sit up. I've got terrible posture.
Okay, we'll just keep an eye on that camera on the laptop on your left and you'll be able to keep an eye on it. All right, well, we are back, right? We've done one podcast tonight already, which has been great. We previewed the supercars. We've got our Patreon members with us as well, which have been very kindly participating in the chat. So if you'd like to be part of the conversation, sub to our Patreon. I'll put all the links to our sponsors and our Patreon in the description of the podcast. If you want some merch too, actually, we never shout this out.
I know.
If you want to get anything.
Probably why we're broke. We don't sell anything.
Well, actually, everything goes to Foster because he runs the whole.
Oh, that's why he's on holidays, is it?
Yeah, that's why. It cost him. That's how I knew that I'd added a new item to our website and made it as cheap as possible. And that was how we found out we cost him 50 cents.
He said you're costing us money here, boys.
Yeah.
Settle down on the pricing.
But yeah, if you want a hat or a hoodie.
The new hats, you've done a good job with those rope hats. I'm
pretty stoked with them.
I reckon I prefer that one that says Apex Hunters versus a logo. I don't know why.
Yeah, this was a trial. I did this as like a bit of a test. See what
Can we get a red rope? I just think with
the rope itself.
I think if it's a black hat with the logo, just the emblem, but a red rope because of the red dot, I reckon that'd look good.
I don't think I can do that for you.
Oh, well, fuck, okay. I'm sorry.
Sorry, mate. But anyway, if anyone wants merch, apexhuntersunited.com.
I just want to answer this question to Barbara's Goat because I love that name. What boot brand does Barb's wear? I would love a pair of RM Williams, but that doesn't hit the budget. So I've actually got a pair of Aquilas on that I actually bought these boots for George Miedecke's wedding. So race fans will know who George is. Gorgeous George, 6'6", race car driver, very good. So I wear them to work now because I had to get my money's worth.
Well, there you go.
So just thought I'd throw that in. Nothing to do with motorsport. But
I think the RMs, though, you can change the soles on them and get another lifespan.
I think they get a lifetime warranty. So I need to eventually invest in some. If RM's listening to the show, which I'm sure they are, maybe send Scotty and I a pair of boots.
They would listen. I've noticed that whoever runs the LG Australia page,
yeah, they get into it.
Big race fan. They get into our socials.
They can send us some stuff too if you want.
Yeah, we could do with a bigger fridge.
Oh yeah,
that Hisense isn't cutting it.
We need a keg.
We do need a keg, but then we can't do a sound check. Anyway, that's enough. We've digressed enough. Let's get back to the pod. Tonight's F1 and NASCAR. Norris got the W for F1. William Byron won in NASCAR.
Yeah, will he be?
He's been very fast all year. I'm surprised that he hasn't won more, to be honest. But he was quick all race. But we've got a 3-week break. Oh, sorry, go on, Bubs. What are you going to say?
No, sorry. I was just going to say, I was thinking of this today. Do you know who William Byron reminds me of? And for our supercar fans, I reckon William Byron...
Oh, does he remind you of a supercar driver?
I reckon he...
Let me guess.
Yeah, you have a go at guessing. Who would you say... Who would you draw parallels with?
Fuck. That's a really hard question. Like a hard...
I'm going to wind you down in a second. Din, din, din.
Yeah, but I can edit the gap and I'll be like really witty and just go bang.
Yeah, that's true.
Cam Waters.
No. I think he reminds me of...
do I get one guess? That's it.
Brock Feeney. Because...
What? I would never have guessed that.
Massive sim racer. Came from sim racing. I'm saying... I think they are similar. I think they got similar.
Okay.
See, I can't be myself sitting down. I feel like I don't do my hands.
Yeah, if anyone's listening audio-wise, with our first pod tonight, we've switched positions. I'm behind the bar. I didn't think Elliot was cutting it, to be honest. But no, the truth...
Fans disagree massively, but anyway.
The truth is actually we had a few comments saying we should mix it up sometimes. And I did feel like I need to stretch my legs. I don't see the Brock... What's that?
I never saw those comments, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Scott's just making shit up here at the bar.
It was actually me commenting on
of a troll account.
Jesus, this pod's gone way off track.
No, but I was just thinking that today. I thought I can see parallels, the work ethic side and things like that. Like if you
I just can't see it.
if you haven't listened to the Brock podcast, go listen to it, and then go watch some stuff on William Byron. I reckon you'll
I
go.
feel like William Byron's like 5'2", blonde, blue eyes.
I'm not doing looks, mate. I'm saying
yeah, I know, but you said-
personalities, work ethic, all that stuff. I think it's a compliment anyway. And the other thing is, William Byron's like a mini.
Microphone.
He's a mini Jeff Gordon, and Brock's a mini Jamie Whincup. So there's similarities there too. But anyway, I think when you have a look at it, you'll go, Elliot's actually right.
Are you saying he's a mini Jeff Gordon just because he runs the 24 or?
Well, it's a similar sort of thing. He brought him in. He's tried to take that sort of mantle of that, and I think Brock's in a similar situation.
Yep.
Like they're both the goats are guiding these young guys through their careers, and they're both doing really well and winning races. And I think their work ethics are pretty similar.
Here's one for NASCAR fans then. Who took over from Kevin Harvick? Because Kevin Harvick got the run when Dale Sr. passed away. Because you talk about Jeff Gordon and guys like that really had someone. Who's Kevin Harvick?
Someone in our comments will know this because I do know this, but I just can't think of it off the top of my head.
Try and talk into the microphone. Like, I know you're not used to sitting down and being there. You don't have to be like right into it and just like.
Is this better?
Yeah, but.
It's just a shit setup over him. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you've done 71 episodes. I'm struggling with 5 minutes in.
Yeah, who took over from Kevin Harvick? Because I feel like he must have had. Oh, Lawson. Was it Lawson?
Oh, I don't know now. Because we've got a few people now. I don't agree with any of them.
Austin Dillon. No, because the thing is, he would have been RCR back in the day. Now Lawson. Actually, he was at RCR, wasn't he? And then he lost his drive because he had a choice word and live
stream thing.
And then he's ended up at.
How have we not been cancelled yet?
Well, because we're not.
No,
those type of people.
I'm saying
honest, it's pretty easy, Barbs, why we haven't been.
No, just we talk a bit of shit though, don't we?
It's more that, like how are people still listening is the surprise.
Yeah. And thank you for still listening. Anyway.
Denny Hamlin. Was it?
That could be... Nah, because Harvick was I don't know, actually.
It is interesting, actually, who would have been...
No, because Denny spent his whole career at JGR.
But wouldn't he have started at RCR?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Denny started his whole...
Oh, sorry, Denny. Yeah, sorry, I'm still thinking Harvick thinking. Interesting anyway. We'll put that in if you do know, put in the comments because I'm interested because usually when there's someone that is a GOAT, we had it in Australia with Peter Brock, Craig Lowndes came in after him. There's often someone that picks up that mantle and takes it over. I still don't think there's been a cult following though since the Gordon and Earnhardt days.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a rivalry. And I actually think the championship hurts it, this finals playoff series, because you don't get two guys battle a full season and then get to the end and have someone win it on points and then have that rivalry last right through to the finals.
No, I agree. All right, let's tuck in, mate. So 3 weeks break from F1.
Yeah, Norris took his 5th win of the season as well. What were your thoughts on the 2 races just before we actually break them down?
As in the NASCAR and the Formula One?
Yeah, just in general.
In general, I didn't mind the Formula One race. It was okay for Formula One. I mean, Formula One can be hit and miss with how much passing and stuff goes on and things like that sometimes. The NASCAR race was a bit of a snoozer. I found it quite boring, and it was a lot of laps.
I'm glad you went first because if I say that, I'm an open wheel fan.
Yeah. But we know I love NASCAR. We know I like Formula One, don't get me wrong, guys. But the racing side of it, I don't find as engaging sometimes as tin top racing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, definitely the Formula One race was more entertaining for me this weekend than NASCAR.
Yeah, I felt like the Formula One race was a bit of a slow burn because you had to wait till the strategies kind of uncovered themselves, like with Lando taking a 1 stop, Oscar being on the 2. Ferrari, after they stopped, and we'll get into it, I think there's some cheating sort of, well, maybe not cheating because they don't get done, but it sounds like they've had to increase tyre pressures or something to raise the car to stop the
wearing through the floor pan.
Yeah, and so obviously it's not cheating. It's they're pushing the limits, and then obviously they get halfway through the race and they go, okay, we're probably wearing this thing to the maximum. We need to raise the car to not wear it any further, which is what they got disqualified for. Was it China? That both cars got disqualified for wearing through the floor. So. So I think the race was probably a bit of a slow burn at the start, but then really came to life. The NASCAR race, I'm with you. This is one that I struggled a little bit. There was a lot of action later in the race. The first part of the race was nothing happened.
It's probably one of those races where we weren't in Australia or New Zealand because it happens on a Monday when we're at work, but if it was on a Sunday, you'd duck out and mow the lawns for half and not miss a lot.
Yeah.
Or wash the car or... take the dog for a quick lap around the block or something like that.
You sound like a footy fan talking motorsport now. That's what they typically say, isn't it? Like, oh, Jesus.
Snoop, would you settle down?
They've been quiet the whole 2 pods, just sleeping beside you.
But yeah, so yeah, it's look, I mean, every race, like Bathurst last year, absolute snoozer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, sometimes it happens. It's no shade on the sport or the event sometimes. Like, it's sometimes just how it rolls.
Yeah, and then Hungary is a track that notoriously doesn't have a lot of overtaking. So, it wasn't a surprise that the one-stop worked. That was probably the one thing that, and I love, to wind up Zach Brown, saying he has a favourite, our last podcast, and I still stand, like, I think it's hilarious. I think he definitely gets more excited when Lando wins as opposed to Oscar. But anyone that thinks that they put Oscar on a 2-stop and put Lando on the 1-stop because it was optimal is just kidding himself. I think that, but equally, it surprises me that more teams didn't give the 1-stop more credit in pre-brief, in their pre-planning, because we saw at Monaco, there's not a lot of overtaking. There was no overtaking there, and I think this is the second worst circuit for overtaking. So a 1-stop means you could probably get track position and just freight train the field and hang on. I know it's harder when you're leading because one car passing you, you're kind of at risk rather than being in a DRS train. But it wasn't their optimal strategy. They put Lando on it because once the front 2 had pitted, he kind of didn't have any other option.
Yeah, they split strategy. That's just smart team.
That's just what they do.
Smart team management.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
so as an Aussie, telling other Aussies, this one was motorsport.
he was leading.
shit happens.
They chose a strategy for him, and it didn't pay off.
Yeah, it was almost to Lando's detriment Oscar's, that he was second and Lando was like 4th behind George Russell, because it meant that he didn't luck into the non-optimal strategy. The one they were thinking was shit, they gave to Lando because of his bad qualifying and bad start. And then unfortunately, and that actually happens a lot. Like that, sometimes you just get unlucky where you think, your track position puts you on the wrong strategy. And, look at in NASCAR, Austin Cindric was fast all day, didn't take the pit stop at lap 202, I think it was, stayed out, maintained track position, ended up being there was too many safety cars, and he had to pit later for tyres. And I think that's just unlucky. If he wasn't leading, he probably would have pitted at 200, put some fuel in the car and made it to the check-it. But he stayed out, maintained track position, thinking, there'll be, some green flag running here and we'll have to pit again. But they didn't. Yeah. So that unfortunately, track position is a real issue. Qualifying, there's a bit of a smoky in there. Ferrari, which blew me away, really jagged a lap in Q3 and got the pole with Leclerc. So take us away, Barber.
Bloody tight, wasn't it? So Charles Leclerc was on pole with a 1:15.372. Oscar Piastri was second with a 1:15.398. God, it's tight, isn't it?
Well, I don't really understand how qualifying is so tight in Formula 1. Then the race,
it's just dog shit.
Leclerc finished 42 seconds off the lead of the race, and he was leading when he pitted for the first time.
Yeah. Lando Norris was third, so McLaren 2-3, 15.413 for Lando. George Russell was fourth, so another good performance for George in 15.4. Fernando Alonso, he still got it, the old wily old dog, doesn't he? God, he raced hard early on, 15.48. And then Lance Stroll. So Aston Martin had a good quality, 5th and 6th, like good on them. Lance was there basically the exact same time almost to Fernando. So he did a 15.498 and Fernando was a 15.481. So they've both maximised what they had there in my opinion. So
took them a bit to get it though, didn't it? Q1 and Q2.
Yeah.
Sorry to jump in. I saw that Alonso in Q1 did a 15.2. Lance did a 15.67. So it was actually like Lance was very lucky to make it through Q1 there on that time. And then
so Lance in Q2's done a 115.1 and Fernando's done a 115.3. So roles reversed there.
Yeah, so it took them a bit to actually find their groove with the car and then they both optimised it.
Yeah.
Interesting actually how they've done that. It's
interesting how it's rolled, like some in Q2 are quicker than what they were in Q3 and yeah, so that's interesting. And then we had Gabriel Bortoletto in P7, so that's a great job from the Sauber driver at a 15.7.
Alonso said, sorry to jump in again, but Alonso did say if he was British and finished, I think he finished 6th in the race, and he said if he was a British driver that finished 6th in a Sauber,
they'd be knighting him.
It'd be front pack. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Sir Bortoletto.
It's like, that's the problem. I feel like the majority of the media surrounding Formula One, or at least what gets global attention, is British media.
Yeah, no, for sure. And
out here...
And a lot of them headquarter themselves out of that part of the world and stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, you can see how it kind of has just become a bit of a British sport, even though it's a global sport.
Yeah. Hunters, I just want to take a moment to thank one of our fantastic supporters, Shaw and Partners Financial Services. Shaw and Partners are a leading national investment advice and wealth management firm. They act for and on behalf of individuals, institutions, corporates, charities, and family offices. So, if you're looking for advice or assistance with investments or strategies, look no further than Shaw and Partners Financial Services. With a 35-year history and 8 offices strategically placed all over Australia, their financial advisors are within reach and ready to provide tailored solutions and advice. For more information, follow the link in the description of this podcast. Back to the show.
Max Verstappen, obviously very strange for Mad
It's
Max
forgotten.
to be in position 8. Obviously can't drive. 15.7. Liam Lawson heading up the Racing Bulls, so at a 15.8, and then Isaac Hadjar in P10 at a 15.9. So between Max, Liam, and Hadjar, there's like a tenth and a half across those three cars, so it's tight.
And I was pretty pumped to see Liam Lawson out-qualify Isaac.
Yeah, that's good.
Very cool. And, I mean, Max, yeah, he only just out-qualified Liam and Isaac. So you had pretty much Red Bull in 3 positions in a row, 8, 9 and 10. I do feel like Liam's going to be getting some confidence back.
Yeah, no, I agree.
At this point in the season. And it's the nuts thing with Formula One is there's still 10 rounds to go. They're only just over halfway. We've got a mid-season break now, 3 weeks of no F1 racing.
And a good 3-week break can change the world, mate.
Yeah, dude. So with... it's not unlike us to derail the podcast, but just quickly, I'm going to go straight to the points because one thing I saw, I'm pretty sure Lawson, after what was a pretty turbulent start of the season, is only 2 points behind Isaac Hadjar in the championship.
Yeah, well, that's going to be good. That'll be obviously, I mean, no doubt Liam will be going, that's goal number 1 is I need to be ahead of Isaac on points come the end of the year.
Yep. In terms of team battles, he's probably got to be the closest teammate to teammate.
For sure.
2 points.
Yeah, no, for sure.
For a guy who's been sacked, he's driven for 2 teams this year. And Yuki's still only on 10 points.
To your point, it's a big deal because it hasn't been an easy year for Liam, you'd imagine, because there's been a lot of, controversy around, getting dropped from Red Bull, going back into the Racing Bull. Like, it's a turbulent year for him.
Yeah.
So for him to be able to get his shit together and not crumble that situation, now he's brought that gap down to 2 points to his teammate who is arguably, everyone knows he's a gun, I think. I think everyone can see the potential and the speed that he's got and the talent that Isaac Hadjar's got. So kudos, Liam. And then, looking forward to the back half of the year. I'd love to see him get up, and I think he probably will.
Do you know one thing here, and you're right, actually, about when you talk about turbulent seasons, like Yuki has had the support every weekend.
Yeah.
He's not had a point where, like, even when he replaced Liam, I feel bad for Liam in that he was the first to get the drive. I think if Yuki got the drive, he'd have been sacked.
Yep.
And then Liam would be in this position, which isn't the best position. I mean, you're just in a...
They'll be right there where they are.
Yuki's not scoring points. He'll be happy that he's actually back in the Racing Bulls. But for your own mentality to be in Yuki's position, at least you have the support of the team.
Yep.
Liam was kind of beaten from pillar to post to start his first full-time season. We forget that he was in and out of the car last year. He wasn't full-time.
Yep.
He was just given an opportunity with like a couple of weeks' notice here and there to jump in a car, and he did a very good job. So I don't think you can underestimate the job Liam's doing. And Isaac's getting a lot of praise. But if I'm honest, they're both rookies. 2 points between them.
Yep.
You take everyone's loving Isaac at the moment. I do think we're sleeping on Liam a little bit too.
Which I think is a good thing. I think he's probably a person that likes to fly under the radar and performs best in that situation. Like, clearly Red Bull didn't work. I mean, no one's driving that car well. So I'm not saying it was him that caused that.
Yeah.
But, we touched on, I think, a couple of F1 pods ago, like I think we said about Albon and we said about Gasly, some drivers actually perform better when there's less expectation on them.
I think Sergio Perez was one of those. He drove for McLaren and struggled.
Yep.
You put him in that spotlight.
Yeah. And so, Liam is probably potentially, just speculate, maybe he's one of those guys that prefers that underdog status or less expectation on him.
Yeah.
So that's great. Ollie Berman was 11th in the Haas, so that's a good job. He smoked his teammate. Esteban Ocon was down in 18th. Lewis Hamilton, man, I really hated seeing this. He was P12. I was watching back the stuff today from his comments after qual in the media pen, and I hated seeing someone that's the GOAT.
Yep.
Just so down on himself. And like, I hate seeing athletes, whether you're a driver or any athlete, I think you put in those, mate, he's a broken man. Like, and it genuinely looked that way. And I just really was uncomfortable watching it, to be honest. I hated seeing that. I've been lucky enough to actually meet Lewis a few times back when I was doing the Merc stuff. I picked him up from Crown, drove him in the track a couple of years in a row. He's nice as pie, ripping guy.
Yeah.
Obviously incredibly talented and one of the best we've ever seen. So I actually fucking hated watching that.
Yeah, I think it's a hard watch. And I remember 2011, I was in F3 and I did a fitness assessment at McLaren and he came in. And yeah, I got to meet him. I only met him once. He came in and sat on a desk while I did my VO2 max test and was unreal. Like, he came in and introduced himself and said, "This is the worst thing I've ever done, so I'm going to sit here and watch you suffer." And he just laughed the whole time I did it. And I was like, holy shit, he just seems so normal for a guy who, he was at 2010 was like just before he left a Mercedes. So he was at a pretty, he was a big deal by that point. 2007, he finished runner-up in his first season. So he was a big deal. And he just sat on the desk and literally chewed the fat while I died on a push bike. But I'm the same. He's been a guy that I looked up to for forever. And now seeing him, it's not killing his GOAT status. Nothing will.
No, just
but it's taking away.
Spirit was down, right?
And Drive to Survive's had this like cult following over the last since 2019, and I feel like this new Formula One demographic will never appreciate Lewis Hamilton for Lewis Hamilton like that. Yeah. When I was in go-karting, I drove for Martin Hines, who Martin Hines was the guy that found him, and I lived with Martin when I lived in the UK, and he found him in when Lewis was 10. And I remember like he would send me videos of Lewis through 1996 to 2000 when he was in go-karting. And he's the best. I think he's my favourite driver. And seeing him, like you said, the way he's doing his post-race interviews, the devastation, and it's been years now. They were the same when he was at Mercedes. And I'm like, where do you go to from here? And I hate to say it, but maybe he has lost the one-lap speed. And at the moment, right, this is a good example of how close qualifying is. Yuki Tsunoda did a 15.899 in Q1. Yeah. He was knocked out in Q1. Max Verstappen, the greatest in the world at the moment, 15.73. So just over a tenth and a half between them. One guy goes on to Q3, one guy gets knocked out in Q1. So the time between the two is very close, and Yuki ends up getting knocked out in Q1, P22. Lewis is facing this at the moment. Formula One's closer than it's ever been in qualifying, and if you lose that edge at 40 years old or whatever he is, it's enough now that you do stop scoring points very quickly.
I'm still not at that point yet. I don't think we're there yet.
I'm an early hater, aren't I?
No, you're not.
He's like a hero.
Look, mate, to be honest, you're probably just being a realist, and maybe I'm still just trying to hold on. I'm probably one of those guys that likes to hold on longer than I should maybe. But I don't think we're at that point yet. I just think
it's hard though, isn't it?
It's his first season with that. I know we're halfway through and all that jazz, but like it's his first season. Maybe the car's not that suited to him. I mean, I know the reason why he's been so successful, I think, is because he is one that would obviously self-analyse and be quite self-critical, and that's probably how he's got the most out of himself across his whole. So is he just at this point? Is that just his way, and he's it's coming across not as great as it probably should? But
yeah,
I don't know. To me, if he is going again next year and all that stuff, and it's still happening, then I'd totally agree with you. Or we get to the end of the year and it's still the same for the rest of the qualities moving on, I'd be like, okay, maybe. But I don't know. The jury's still out for me. I still think he's got it.
If he genuinely believes he's the problem, right?
He'll tear his contract up.
Yeah, but I wonder, and what I wanted to say was actually in 2000 when did Marcus Ambrose come back to Australia? 2014.
Yeah.
I was at DJR Team Penske and Ambrose came back. They cut our team to 2 cars and it was just one with him driving. He decided after the Melbourne Grand Prix.
You're at my house.
His first full time. No, I was in Queensland.
No, I'm saying after the Grand
Oh, sorry, I was with you at the Grand Prix,
Yeah.
that weekend.
Yeah.
And he had a shocker, and I went home, literally left your house, flew home, and the Monday morning I got the phone call, and actually Marcus, I got the phone call to say come in, because, and I get to the point, Scott, but Marcus acknowledged that he felt he was at a point in his career where he was holding the team back, and the best thing to do was put a young guy in that was match fit, that was at the top of his game, that could lead the race team, right? So he prioritized the team over his own self-interest. And I do wonder, when will that time come for Lewis? Because you can't just keep walking into the media pen. And as fans, we would love to say we're not there yet, like you are.
Yeah.
But as Lewis, if you're going to keep lining up at this media pen and say, it's me, maybe they should change driver, when do you do that? And that's what always impressed me about Marcus, to have the balls to actually go, you know what?
Mid-season. Early in the piece too.
Dude, he was 2 rounds in, and round 1, he'd made the shootout.
Yeah.
So it's not too dissimilar to what Lewis is doing right now. He won a race. He won the sprint race. I just wonder if Lewis will go, you know what? But then who is it? That's the problem with Formula One.
Who they got in the wings that's better than Lewis Hamilton
that's
right
the
now?
problem.
Friggin' no one.
Yeah. But that, and that gave me a lot of respect for Marcus. And I've been thinking that a bit lately. Like, will Lewis at the end of this season go, you know what? The best thing for Ferrari and the fans of Ferrari is for me not to do it? Or stop saying it's me.
Yeah.
Back yourself.
Yeah,
and try
car's
and
a
fix the
shit
problem.
box.
Try and fix the
Go
problem.
make me a car. Yeah, interesting. And you're probably right, mate. Interesting. I mean, and you've been a lot closer to that world and understand it, deeper than I do. But I did find it interesting that one of his comments was, there's a lot of stuff going on in the background.
Yeah.
That to me is a very interesting comment. Because that's got nothing to do with, so him just saying, oh, it's me, I'm shit, I'm useless, whatever, that's fine. But him saying there's a lot of stuff going on, that's interesting to me. So that's either he's talking about in his personal life or he's talking about with the team. And I took it as team. So I took it as, has he had those discussions, guys, I'm not up to it? Or I'm over it or whatever, or is there pressure coming from within there? I don't know. But I just thought that comment that he made, I thought was really interesting. And there's obviously, there always is, but I'm sure there's a lot more to the story. But,
no, I'm with you. Yeah, I do wonder. And Alonso is one of the guys too that's kind of...
He's the reason why I don't believe in the age thing.
I'm with you.
And like Brad Pitt in the F1 movie, he was 60 or something, mate. Won a race. So
16 years older than Alonso, and he won a race.
So, but no, I mean, again, maybe I'm blinded by it, but I still think, drivers don't forget.
Yeah.
Is what I generally think. I think if the car is underneath, especially someone like Lewis has been doing it for so long, his muscle memory would be so in tune with racing a Formula One car on the edge. I just fail to believe that in half a season, he's forgotten, or a year and a half he's forgotten.
When George Russell came in, though, he beat him 2 out of 3 championships as teammates.
And I knew you'd bring that up.
There is a changing of the guards, yeah. I mean, I'm always looking for, what is the other side of the argument? Yeah. It's not that I'm a pessimist because...
No,
but it is like, what's the other... Yeah.
No, and I knew as I was saying, I'm like, fuck, here comes Scotty with the perfect response. And you are right, mate.
I love a healthy debate.
And you're right. So, again, maybe I'm glass half full. Maybe you're looking at it from a realist point of view.
That's why we are fans of the sport, though. You speculate on these things, and it's fun to have pub chat and talk about it. And the depressing thing at all of it is in qualifying, Q1 he did a 15.733. Charles Leclerc only did a 15.58. So it's not like
he's not
in terms of Formula One, the gap's small, but unfortunately,
he's not useless today, as he said.
Today Formula One's so close. Like 5 years ago, maybe there were times where he was that far off Nico Rosberg, but he was still second because in the best car, and that's the surprising thing in the race. Yes, McLaren are miles ahead, but in qualifying, they're not. And I did make a note during qualifying. It looked like the track temperature dropped. One of the strengths of the McLaren is that they look after their tyres unbelievably. However they're doing it, they're keeping the surface the temperature out of the tyre, and which just prevents any deg. But it does mean in qualifying it's difficult to get the tyre up, and it dropped significantly. I think track temperature dropped 15 degrees or something crazy, because there was spots of rain as well, and that's probably what brought the Ferrari back into play. But qualifying, 5 years ago, you probably had McLaren dominating by a large margin. So the second driver in a McLaren would still be P2, or if they made a mistake, they'd be P4. And it's probably what we saw with Red Bull. Yeah. Whereas, the last few years, that hasn't been the case. It's been closer than it's ever been, I think, in qualifying.
I liked your stat here, mate, which is just so people can appreciate how close and tough Formula One is. Yuki Tsunoda was 1.5 tenths off Max. He's 16th.
Yeah.
And Max is 8th.
He's 8 spots behind.
So people go, oh, Yuki's shit or whatever, or, whatever it be, but he's 1.5 tenths, not seconds, tenths off Max, the greatest in the world.
I know.
Driving a race car. That to me shows you how tight this game is.
Yeah.
And Yuki will leave the track going, I'm useless. I'm shit ass. I'm 16th. Didn't make Q3. And then, Max isn't going to be happy with that.
You put Yuki in that car, say 0.15, off of Max 5 years ago, he's P2.
Yeah. No, it's just,
He's got a different career.
Yeah. No, exactly. People are talking about him in a great way.
I hope you're enjoying this episode, but I do have to interrupt just quickly to thank our fantastic supporters that allow us to create the content for you. East Coast Car Rentals. If you're in the market for a rental car, think of those guys. And if you'd like a cheeky 15% discount, AHU15 is the discount code there for 15% off. If you're in the market to buy a car, not rent one, Lancaster Motor Group, we've got you covered for new or used cars. So think Lancaster Motor Group. Quadlock, fantastic supporter of our podcast as well. We use their products every single day on the pod using their desk mounts here. Also, we've used them to create the additional content like we did the Adelaide Motorsport Festival using their action camera mounts. So whether it's mounts, phone cases, they've got you covered. Quadlockcase.net. Now, the website for all of these brands that support us will be in the description of this podcast. Back to the show. Contract talks for George Russell right now must be primo. Because, Max Verstappen's extended. If he was outside top 3 in the championship, I think there was the clause in his contract which would have been activated that he could leave at midpoint in the season, which didn't happen. So he's definitely staying at Red Bull now. He's announced, yes, and he's kind of said, I was never leaving. People were tracing their planes and things with him and Toto, and I'm sure there was talks happening. But he couldn't get out of his contract, or he's decided to stay. Whatever it is, George Russell right now has the power, I think, in his hands. On the weekend, again, I reckon he over-delivered, finished up third in the race.
Well, didn't he?
He's actually unbelievable.
That move on Leclerc and the aggression was bang on. Hats off to you, Georgie.
Yeah. You were critical of that too. Maybe
I would love you to change your celebration because I'm not a fan. But bloody good racing, mate.
Yeah.
Good on you, old boy.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. And, he does love a good whinge, though.
Yeah, no.
That's
okay. If he keeps delivering results like that and racing like that, I'll put up with the whinging.
He wasn't wrong, though. Fuck, Charles Leclerc moves under brakes. They were bad.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that stuff.
I thought that was pretty bad, actually. Pretty much swerving under brakes. I was like...
That, to me, shows desperation, too. That to me, just... And we've all been there where you're just ropeable with your performance on the day or whatever it be, and you just get desperate. You do silly stuff. And to me, that was, I'm sure he hasn't got the car underneath him, as in Charles, to be a world champion yet anyway. But that mentality to me, I was like, oh, fuck, he's not happy in that cockpit.
Yeah, and he did get on the radio and have a massive, massive vent. The Ferrari radio is usually, it's not great. But that was kind of the point in the race. When George was coming up on him was when he realised, I'm not going to be on for the podium. We should have won this race.
Yeah, we're on pole.
But where they're running the car too low for performance, because the car was fast in qualifying and it was quick in the race until the final set of tyres went on. So whatever they adjusted to make sure that it was okay to finish the race.
Luigi on pressures fucked it up big time, didn't
he? yeah, Luigi. That did ruin it, but it's put George, I think, he's got a bit of a power play at the moment because he hasn't renewed his contract.
And Kimi's not doing much, so.
Well, and what happens with Audi joining the championship, with Cadillac joining, there's probably a point too where George goes, well, actually, you know what? I'll just hold out 5 minutes and
get another 10 mil.
Yeah, I liked what Martin Brundle actually said. He goes, George has the power now where he can be like, you know what? I don't like green M&Ms. I'll just have the blue ones. Thanks. He can just dictate what he wants. And that's what's happened now. His performance is unreal. He's finishing on the podium regularly. He's won a race this year. He won a race.
Canada.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So he's arguably top 3 in the world at the moment.
And he probably, although maybe the perception out there, if you're not a George Russell fan, is maybe not as high as what it should be, because he said he beat Lewis 2 out of 3. You know, he's clearly incredible talent. So it's probably deserved, is where I'm getting to. You know, like, I think he's put the effort in. He's obviously getting the results. So he probably should be in the position he's in, and good on him. To dictate how much he wants to earn and where he wants to drive. Good on him.
It's like you and I said, we'd love to see him versus Max, because I think George is so underrated somehow that it would be interesting to see those two go head-to-head in the same car and see what they do. Yeah, Alonso and Stroll actually had a race as well, which was...
Alonso raced hard, man. I am so excited to see him in a newie car.
Yeah, next year's going to be interesting.
Like, if they can deliver a great car, I'm really looking forward to seeing what Fernando can do, because some of the moves he put on, some of the racing he did across the weekend, I was still like, he's still got the fire.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
Sorry, and Ange has actually thrown in our chat here on Patreon. I think most of us can appreciate George's driving, but the constant complaining on the radio makes him much less likable. I'm with you. Like, that's the hard thing, unfortunately, when you only get... But I will say, you're seeing us at our worst.
Yes,
and often the whinging too, we're trying to get penalties for other drivers. Like, when he complains about the unsafe moving under brake, you're really trying to enforce...
You're playing a game.
Yeah. And so, I'd just say try and give him the benefit of the doubt. Every driver in that moment feels hard done by. We will never see that we were wrong, and we're trying to get a penalty for the other guy.
And I guarantee you, if we had George at the bar here and he was having a pint of Guinness, we'd all go, what a great guy.
Yeah.
So,
or maybe not. Maybe he's a dick.
Yeah, well, it could be. We'll find out when he comes in next month. No, I'm joking. But, yeah, to your point, mate, driver radios are always tricky because, there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And it is at your worst, as you said. So... Yeah, I mean... Yeah,
like you think about... Imagine what you'd hear from a football player, like a soccer player, on the pitch or whatever.
Yeah, if they were mic'd up, they would get cancelled and banned. There's some real hard sledging that goes on out there.
100%. So it is, unfortunately as drivers, you're mic'd up. But equally, again, commentary, like Martin Brundle, and this is where, like, supercars, I don't know how we get the technology to be able to do it. But playing the radio during the race, that's how the commentators actually know what's happening with the strategy.
Yep.
It's the communication between the drivers and team. So it's the bloody good and the bad, but I think as a driver you got to accept that you might come off like a bit of a dick sometimes.
Yeah.
George, you look at Oscar Piastri, unfortunately for everyone else, he just sounds the same.
I like how they ask.
You can't not like him.
Nah. And look, and we're probably biased, and that's fine. I'm happy to admit it. But I love how they ask him so early in the race about, does he think, like at lap 6 or 8 or something, does he think they can do a one-stop? He's like, well, it's a bit early.
Yeah.
Like, no shit. There's like another 65 laps to go or something. Yeah. Like, I've got no idea how these tyres are going to hang in here.
I thought that too. Sorry, and you've also said, but surely the team would be pushing for the penalty. Don't need the driver complaining for a penalty. Actually,
adds to it.
No, but actually I've had instances where I haven't expressed my concern,
dislike,
and I've got to the end of the race and they said it wasn't shown on TV, or they didn't think it was as serious as it was, and they said, it didn't sound like it was a big deal, so they never put a protest forward. So unfortunately you got to fight. You can't just assume they know how severe it was and they're going to put in a complaint, because it is up to the teams often to file the formal complaint. So you do need to sound like a bit of a whinging bitch sometimes and go, hey, put it in. Look at supercars from Townsville. Woody he tried to pass Jack LeBrock into the second last corner. Jack LeBrock moved under braking horrifically. And Woody actually went, no, like, put it in, put the complaint in, because the team doesn't know how dangerous the move was. And you've got to tell them.
And if they didn't see it, like, the teams will be thinking, he's just overreacting. Maybe sometimes, like if you're having a bad day, like, he's just frustrated.
Yeah. And that does happen.
Oh, for sure.
They'll go, we thought you were just like upset at the time or something. Yeah. So, but not to, hopefully that gives some insight into why the drivers sometimes sound like moaning little bitches. But But yeah, unfortunately for everyone else, Oscar's just. I don't think you can not like the guy on the radio. He doesn't sound any different, does he? Lawson ahead of Verstappen in the race. What do you think of that?
Yeah, that was good. I really like that from Liam. Who else did I like in there? Bortoletto, P6. We touched on that.
Freak.
Very nice.
Qualified well, raced well. Actually, I did put in here. He's out-qualified, Nico, last 2 races, and actually by quite a lot as well. So in this one, Nico qualified 19th, and Bortoletto was 7th.
Yeah, so gold stickers for me go to Bortoletto and Alonso. They're my gold stars for the day.
44 years old. I actually heard them say he's done 40% of the Formula 1 races in total.
Unbelievable.
That's actually ridiculous.
What a guy, and I bet you can still drink a beer too. And then I would just say that, disappointments would be, I'll also give a gold sticker to Lance Stroll. I would say disappointments would be, and I know it's harsh because the kid's so young, but Antonelli, as you said, mate, like he's driving for one of the top teams.
Yeah.
Your teammate's on 3rd. If he was 6th or 5th, I'd go, okay, fair enough, but not 10th and miles off the money. Like he's a lap down.
Do you think Antonelli got put in that car too early?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I think they could have parked him like they did with most other people at Williams or somewhere else for a year or two, take a bit of the shine off, bit of the tyre release mold off. He's too green, I think. Yep. He needs a couple of road-in laps.
Like they did with George Russell.
Yeah,
Williams.
like George went to Williams or, so to me, yeah. Because I don't think it's doing anyone any justice. I don't think it's probably not helping Kimi. Like he was in tears, I think, after quali or whatever it was. It's not doing the Mercedes fans any justice either because they go, well, one car's 10th. So if George has a bad day, they're not going to get to spray some champagne. The fans aren't going to get to celebrate. So I don't think it's actually doing anyone any good at the moment, to be honest.
Yeah, and you know what it's like as a driver when you start to... And that's why the smaller teams are important to earn your stripes because it actually helps you back your own ability. You get some runs on the boards. Building. Yeah. And
it's like a practice match in footy. You go and play a team that's slightly worse than you just to build some confidence before the season.
Yep.
Stuff like that. Like that's... So I actually feel for him a little bit. I'm got no doubt he will be a star probably when he's older or in a couple of seasons. But if he mentally gets broken now at such a young age, he won't be worth nothing.
And that's the thing. Like,
so it's a risk.
A brutal sport. If he doesn't get an opportunity, I think he's lucky to have someone like Toto Wolff.
Yeah.
I don't think you can underestimate how good Toto is for young drivers. Like I know they have their own Mercedes young driver program, but Toto is someone that really seems to nurture his talent. Even with Lewis, I saw the interview where they were talking contracts and Lewis said, Toto, you could be here for 30 years more. I can't. This is my prime. Like it's now or never. And he said, Lewis, you're more than a driver to us. You will be here. You are
part of the family. Yeah.
And I think that having that relationship with the drivers is so important. But how far does that stretch? Formula One is so ruthless that if he has a really bad year, hopefully Toto can put him into a junior team somewhere else that helps him rebuild, like we've seen with Liam. Yeah. Liam could have easily, if he didn't have the Red Bull junior team, he'd be done. He'd be done.
He'd be racing Formula E.
He'd be driving battery powered cars.
So Kimi's probably my letdown from that.
I'm with you. Same as gold stickers, silver stickers. I agree actually on all of them.
Yeah.
I think Lance Stroll, we can't everyone loves to hate on the guy.
Yeah, but honestly, he was within half a tenth of Alonso and he's run there, one position difference? Yeah, there's one person in between them. That to me is acceptable.
Yep.
Having a car in between you and your teammate is acceptable. Having 5 or 6 is probably not, and like a lap down and stuff.
Yeah, yep. Race issues, I'd put down there, you need 6 to 8 tenths to pass. So I was definitely surprised that more people didn't choose the one stop from the beginning.
Yeah.
The only thing, I don't know that McLaren could have done it because if they didn't pit to undercut Leclerc, would Leclerc have just kept going? Like if Leclerc just kept going, they would have gone, well, we're on to a one stop now. So that's where talking about his position being higher kind of screwed him.
Yeah.
You almost needed Lando to go, I'll pit and undercut. But because he's so far back, they're never going to do that.
No.
I was surprised when they pitted Oscar, he wasn't really close enough for an undercut.
Yeah, I didn't really get it, to be honest. Like I thought the same. I thought,
and then with it being cold, the outlap wasn't that fast.
No.
But then you just go follow the leader and keep going.
But, I mean, to McLaren's, I guess, point of view, they've got two great drivers and they've got the two fastest cars that can run that risk. And if Oscars didn't pay off, which it didn't, Lando was going to win.
Yeah.
So, like, for them, like you said, kind of didn't have much to lose.
Yep.
Like, and they had to run split strategies and they had to try something. And as you said, it was just circumstance that Oscar was leading and that's the way that they rolled first. That was the strategy they thought was going to be best and it wasn't on the day.
I'd love to have a conspiracy, or at least fuel the conspiracy theory, but I don't think it's valid. 10 drivers did a 1-stop and 10 did a 2-stop.
Yeah, so that just shows, I think, teams didn't know what was going to be better.
Yeah.
They've literally just split their strategies across both cars.
Yep.
Down the field.
100%.
What the heck is a quad lock?
Watch this to find out. Whether you're in the car, on the bike, on the water, in the air, your phone is an important tool. Keep it secure with Quad Lock.
Commentary, Martin Brundle, I'm a big fan of his, actually. I think he's brilliant, but maybe...
Well, it says here, you said he's lost the friggin' plot, mate.
Yeah. You don't have to read the notes. These are for you and I. The notes are for you and I only, Barber. I do worry maybe the time might have come for a change because at lap 32, Lando hadn't pitted. The leaders had pitted, dropped out behind him, and then closed the gap up to him. Martin Brundle, in commentary, said that Lando should start getting blue flags soon, so he shouldn't interfere with the leaders. And then later in the lap realised that Lando's actually on the lead lap, and he's currently the leader of the race. He just hasn't pitted yet.
I did hear him say I can't remember what he was talking about specifically now, but he did say, like, went on this rant. He's like, actually, don't listen to me. I don't know what's going on. Like he might have had a bit of an off. He might have something going on in the back of his mind or something.
And that happens.
Oh, 100%.
But there has been a few little ones where I think, man, it's competitive in broadcasting Formula One. There's some really great callers, and there's some elite expert analysts like Ant Davison coming up. Nico Rosberg asks and does the right things. I think he's awesome. There's some really good. The young Jamie Chadwick, actually, I don't know, I've never mentioned her, but I think she does an exceptional job in broadcast.
Yeah, right.
But I feel like it's you can only hold that mantle for so long because Formula One's the pinnacle of world motorsport.
Yeah.
There's going to be someone that comes up that will take it. Even his son, Alex Brundle, does a sensational job and even sounds the same. Their voice, I don't know how it is so similar. But, there's maybe the time comes. I hate to say it because I actually love Brundle and he's almost like Murray Walker. He's the voice of Formula One.
Yeah.
But maybe you just change his role. The pit lane walks are sensational.
Yeah, on the grid is great.
Maybe in the moments, I don't know. It's brutal because maybe it's just one big mistake, but I've noticed a couple little ones where I think, shit, dude, like maybe you're not quite keeping tabs on the race. Like the 1-stop, honestly, that race, almost straight away when Oscar and Leclerc pitted, you could see the 1-stop was a threat. And they never once brought it up. They didn't acknowledge at all that, hang on a minute, this 1-stop is legit. They were like, the whole time they thought Lando was behind Russell. And I was thinking, what the fuck are you looking at? And
they would have had far more insight than us on the couch because they've got all sorts of stuff coming in their ears and whatever. Yeah. But so early in the race, clearly it was going to be a factor because that early in the race, I think it was lap 8 maybe, when they were asking Oscar, do you reckon you go 1-stop?
Yep.
So if teams are talking about it, they know about it. So, yeah, I agree with you.
Bernie Collins is still great for insight as well. You're right there. Chat from Patreon from Saurine. Bernie Collins does an amazing job. She was Aston Martin and I think Williams strategist as well.
Yeah.
Spent nearly 10 years in the lane.
Yeah, she's good.
She's brilliant. So, yeah, it's a very competitive environment to be a commentator in Formula One. The broadcasters do a good job, and then Crofty is an ex-driver who's the expert. He's a crompo. So yeah. Anyway, little mention there. This one's a bit depressing, but also complimentary for Leclerc. He has had 27 pole positions in Formula One with just 8 race wins, which I think highlights Ferrari's lack of race pace or poor strategies.
Pit stop errors.
To have 27 poles and 8 wins really highlights the lack of the team.
Yeah, because it's like a driver's not going to stuff up that many conversions.
No.
On their own doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that, I'm with you, man. That to me screams other issues. And that would be so frustrating for Leclerc.
Oh, it'd be driving me
Imagine
nuts,
having that
dude.
many poles, mate, and converting such a small percentage. You would just, you'd be like, I'm in the fastest. Why is this not that
Yeah.
would be friggin' frustrating.
Yep.
So,
Championship points has closed right up. There's only 9 points in it now, which is disappointing as an Aussie. I was hoping that we'd go into the winter break with another cheeky race win over Lando Norris, but it wasn't the case. Lando come out on top and Oscar finished second. So, 9 points is in it. Lawson has closed the gap, which we mentioned, to just 2 points between Isaac and himself. And then there's 108 points between George Russell and Kimi Antonelli, which is, for me, they were the highlighted points. The Antonelli one we've obviously gone through enough, so we don't need to do too much there. We'll see what happens in the back end of the season. I feel like he got off to a cracking start. He was scoring amazing points, and then he had a little bit of bad luck.
Yep.
So hopefully he comes back. And then Alonso and Stroll are actually on.
See,
that surprised me. They're on the same points, 11th and 12th in the championship.
See, that to me where people want to knock on Stroll. It's another point, another feather in his cap.
Two-time world champ up against, two-time world champ.
Yeah, so, and didn't Lance miss a race because of his wrist or some shit this year?
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
So, arguably could be up the road on him. That's the funny thing about sport, and especially motorsport, is the perceptions.
Yeah.
It's like some drivers get massively overrated. Some drivers get massively underrated, like we say about George.
Yep.
And just those perceptions. Like people would never have, if you asked 50 people that watch motorsport off and on, do you think Fernando Alonso or Lance Stroll, who do you think's ahead in the championship? Or how close do you think they are in the championship? Everyone would go, Fernando Alonso's heaps up the road.
Yeah. Yep, 100%.
So,
and when you think that, Alonso just scored 16 points in the last race, you would go, he's gapped Stroll massively.
yeah.
But Stroll was right behind him. Like, it's not...
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fair. And that is motorsport, though, isn't it, in a nutshell? It's so hard. 100%. Even Lewis Hamilton, 2021, nearly won the championship down to the last race. It's not that long ago.
No.
You don't forget that fast, but confidence is everything.
Yeah. I mean, Lewis is a fair way off Charles in the points, isn't he?
This year's been really hard. I think that I highlighted really the Kimi Antonelli, though, to George Russell, because that's the biggest gap, teammate to teammate. Yeah. I know he's a rookie, but I don't think a rookie this year.
It's Formula One.
Formula One is an excuse.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, mate. You're in Formula One, so you can't have this rookie tag.
Up to some...
NASCAR. Boogity.
Doors and panels. Let's go racing. Worst start your engine call ever, this one. Did you hear it?
No, I actually didn't hear the start.
They said...
Who was it? Was it a celeb?
No, but... it might have been.
We don't know. Obviously not.
Obviously not that big of a celebrity, because I know them all, of course. But he did say, start your engines powered by Iowa corn ethanol. I was like, okay, mate.
Okay. Well, he probably got told to say that.
Yeah, I know, but it's just not exciting. Yeah. I don't care what it's powered by. Just start your fucking engines. But yeah, Iowa corn 350 powered by ethanol was on the weekend. William Byron got the W.
Willie B. That'll be on
away.
T-shirts soon.
Take it. Willie B.
Connor Z and Willie B.
I haven't seen it yet.
Sounds like a boy band.
I doubt it.
Chase Briscoe had pole, mate. So James Small and Chase have really dialed that thing in this year, haven't they?
He's fast, man. 6 pole positions this year.
Crazy.
I'm actually surprised that he's had 6. Like, when we talked about some of the oval races, they've been like Toyota or Chev, like, the manufacturer seems to dictate the outcome of the result. So for one driver to have 6, I think is a surprise in NASCAR.
I definitely feel like Toyota is a really solid manufacturer. Like
but there's other guys driving Toyota that are very fast.
Yeah, no.
So that's what I mean. Like,
sorry, I get what
for him to outperform
Denny Hamlins of the world and the Christopher Bells.
It takes 6.
Yeah.
They don't do a pole award either.
They get the little flag and they get the photo, the Bush Pole Award.
At the end of the season?
No, every round.
No, but I mean like at the end of the year, like, our championship's $50,000 prize money this year for the Boost Mobile Pole Award.
Yeah. Do they not NASCAR?
They don't have I heard if they did, they were like, he would be winning it.
Okay.
I know they do 36 races, but 6 in such a competitive championship is a lot of pole positions.
Yeah, no.
And we'll claim it because his engineer, his crew chief, isn't Aussie. So
he's basically half Aussie.
He's basically at the bar with us.
Exactly. Bit of a snoozer of a race, though, wasn't it, mate?
Unfortunately, it was. Yeah.
A lot of cautions. I think, what was it, 50 of the last 144 laps are under caution.
That was...
There was a window at one point on the track, which was one of the cautions, like a side window blew out.
Yeah.
So it was...
I guess I'd put in here some of the next-gen notes. I'll just go forward to them because when we talk about the race, Denny Hamlin did a really good job in his podcast of describing the problems with next-gen.
Yep.
And also, it sounds like NASCAR aren't listening to the Cup Series drivers. Like, those guys are literally every weekend testing and trialing your product. So I think that it's the same as supercars. When a driver in the category has feedback, you got to listen and then adjust it.
Especially top drivers.
Yeah.
Like, they're not just Billy's running 35th every weekend. Like,
Well, it happened here in Australia when the top drivers were trying to give feedback to the category and not fucking listening.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And then we end up getting them leave our championship because they go, well, I'm sick of this. No one listens to us. And it sounded like today Hamlin was annoyed that the cars generate all of their downforce underneath the car. And he said, we have got to somehow get back to a way where we generate the downforce from across the top of the car. Because when we go to a place like Iowa and they choose the hard tyre, without the downforce on top of the car, we've got nothing pushing us into the road to make the hard tyre even work. So I think that was one of the issues, that aero wash is horrific. We know that in the next-gen NASCAR. They talk about that all the time. But this was a track where they chose the harder compound. I think 60 laps they're doing on a tyre with zero deg, like no deg. At one point he said that they thought the tyre delaminates before it actually wears out. Like they're actually tearing cords before they're through the tread. It's just flogged. So I think that NASCAR has got a bit of an issue, and that's why the race was a little bit boring, because of the way it generates downforce, the amount of aero wash it gets, and then the hard tyre they chose on the weekend, which he said was odd because they did test. They did a tyre test at Iowa earlier in the year where they choose the compounded tyre, which is pretty, to be honest, it's pretty amazing that Goodyear are developing tyres, or at least providing a compound that suits the circuit, and NASCAR chose the harder compound. But it killed the race because there was no deg, which we talked about in the supercar pod. You have to have deg to have good races, otherwise there's no overlap in pace. The way the car generates a downforce doesn't push it into the road, which means you can't then use the tyre anyway or load it up. So he said he felt like he drove around all day on top of the road, and the leaders couldn't even lap karts. The leaders would get a gap on the field and then catch lap traffic and lose their lead. So, yeah, NASCAR in this one had a bit of an issue. I think they should have gone a much softer tyre, something with really high deg. And then the safety cars at the end meant that cars that pitted lap 202 of a 350 lap race, whatever it was, made it on fuel.
Yeah.
Which should not happen. I think the safety cars late in the race, I don't know how you stop that, but a guy being able to make it on fuel, doing 144 laps?
144, yeah.
Is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it meant that people like Austin Cindric, who were fast all day, he was at the front late in the race, well after lap 200, and he couldn't do anything. He ended up on a shit strategy because he had to pit, and because of all the safety cars, those guys did 144 laps on fuel.
Yeah.
So it kind of blew the race apart in terms of strategy. It meant that the alternate strategies didn't work. The safety cars and fuel saving really dictated the outcome of the result, which was a shame. Not to say William Byron wasn't fast and wasn't deserving of the win.
He was there all day. He qualified second. He was always going to be a factor. There's no doubt about that. Do you know who did have a great day, but it didn't pan out? They didn't get the win, was Brad Keselowski. And I was really rooting for him to get a win because he needs one for the playoffs. And RFK's been strong this year. They've been really good. And so I'm not a massive Ford guy, but I would have liked to have seen him get a win today.
I know. I was, for whatever reason.
Because he won 2 stages.
Well, we said that, and we said this last pod. You just find the guy you're going for somehow at the moment, and you're like, fuck, I hope that guy. Like, Brad, I don't know how he's only won 1 championship. But 2012 was his last championship. And when you see Brad, it's kind of like a Busch, I guess. Like, for me, I see Kyle Busch get to the front. I think, fuck, it'd be cool to see him win because it's been a while. And that's his first stage win of the year as well for Brad.
Yeah.
But, I was going for him all day. And then even late in the race, he was like oh, shit, this might still be on. Like, if Byron doesn't make the fuel, he could come from third, catch these guys. Blaney was blazing at the end. He was really fast. But, yeah, you're right. Brad was probably the guy all day But I did put in there his stops are probably holding him back.
Pit lane.
Keselowski, I think he's like 11.5 seconds in the lane. Others around 9.5.
You just can't have that NASCAR. You're just going to end up nowhere. They go in the lane so much, you just cannot fuck that stuff up.
Yeah.
Qual was a little bit, just talking on Qual still, mate, Qual was a little bit interesting too because Chase Briscoe on a Toyota was on pole, but then the next Toyota was Denny in 11th.
Yeah.
So he had a 2/10 gap over his next teammate, which is big on an oval. But it was a good little spread, really. Toyota's probably looked like in Qual that they were probably the slowest package because between Chev and Ford, it was kind of even across the other posies in the top 10 there. Carson Hocevar again just keeps turning up and he's quick. I know a lot of
controversial.
People, I know a lot of people don't like him or whatever, but like the dude's doing a good job. Like he's fast, he's qualifying well, and he's always popping up in the races. Like you just got to kind of take your hat, whether you like him or not. I mean, he's there. He's employed to get results, and I think he's doing a good job in that Spire car. Like he's out qualified Chase Elliott, who's in a Hendricks car. You know, William Byron and Kyle Lawson are the only. He's the third Chev.
I'm on the Hocevar train.
I know you like him.
And I actually love that he's not that liked at the moment. I think he will mature.
That he doesn't. But I like that he doesn't care. Well, he doesn't seem to care that he's not liked. Can you get off my foot, mate? What are you doing? Smoke, hello.
The thing about Hocevar, I think he's a real good race car driver. I think he's good. He's all right on the road course. He's okay.
Yeah.
Great on the ovals. I think that, I don't know what his car's like. I don't know if it's as competitive as others, but I think that Hocevar seems to he's in contention. Yeah. Maybe not for the win, but if he gets lucky, he's in contention for the win. But he's in the 10 all the time.
I'd love to think how many top 10s he's had this year. I don't know, but it would be an interesting because I think it'd be slightly impressive.
The problem he's going to have is if he doesn't start making friends, he's going to constantly get wrecked.
He's going to struggle to win one, yeah. Shane was 21st too, just FYI for our Aussie and Kiwi listeners.
Yeah. I couldn't believe as well. Shane he had the spin early and found his way back to P16 and then got taken out. Yeah. So he was actually running really well after that too.
No, he was going all right. And like in qual, I know that 21st doesn't sound great, but for all the friggin' knockers that think he can't drive an oval, he was well ahead of his other two teammates.
Yeah, it was good.
So he's maximised the car he had. So if anyone says he's no good on an oval.
Lynn Crosby, I'm with you. He just needs to stop hitting people. SVG called him a wanker. Did he? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
There you go.
I must have said
Sean P. Yep, he did. Look, that is the one thing with Carson, but that shit sort of normally comes with maturity.
So yeah, because Carson finished 8th in the race.
Again, Hocevar seems tainted by the 23 Truck Series finale where he took out Corey Haim. Sorian.
I think he said he on one of the Dale Jr. shows he regretted that or something. But I mean he's obviously made a bit of a name for himself, and he obviously doesn't have a lot of friends. But at the end of the day, he's there to do his job. Yeah. I think he's doing it. I think he's doing a good job for his sponsors because people are talking about him. Shit, we're in Australia talking about him.
100%.
So yeah. I don't see any downside to it, to be honest. I mean. Yeah, I think he's doing a ripper job. The race results will rattle through those. So William Byron won. Chase Briscoe was second. Brad Kay was third. So the guy that we were pulling for was third. Ryan Blaney fourth. Good to see Blaney get.
I thought he was going to be on.
Yeah, and you never count him out either. Like when he starts coming back in that top 10 late in the stages, you're like, oh, Blaney's going to be on. Like he'll be a factor for sure. So that was good. Ryan Priest, another RFK car. He's been strong as well all year. Bubba Wallace, strong 6th finish after his win last week. That's awesome. Yep. He's on a bit of a roll. Alex Bowman, 7th. Carson Hocevar, 8th. Joey Logano, 9th. Austin Dillon, 10. And then where was Shane? Ended up 31st after his dramas throughout the day. So obviously got a bit of damage, a couple of spins and stuff like that. So, bit of a snoozer, as we touched on, but really not a lot of change in that. Fastest car of the day was actually Brad Kay. He did the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah.
So that just proves they did have good speed all day. So I didn't know that they had lost so much time in the lane. So that's obviously something that hopefully they can tune up because he needs to win soon if he wants to get in that playoff. Yeah.
I think that we talk about supercars. Pit stops are so important. In NASCAR, they spend more time in the lane than most other categories anywhere in the world.
Is it Watkins Glen next week?
It is Watkins Glen.
So Shane will probably be looking to bounce back anyway.
Yeah.
Like going back to road course, he got muscled out there last year by Priest.
I tell you what, it would be cool to see Priest get the win, only because like he needs a win to be in.
I'd rather see Shane win, to be honest. I'm sorry. I get what you're saying, but
I don't know. I want to say I love the celebration of like, winning your
sorry,
win.
Busher, not Priest.
Oh, it was Busher.
Yeah, sorry.
I was hoping to see.
Thanks for that. Who was that told us that? Thanks, Surian. That was, Busher. Everyone's coming at me now. Thank you. I knew it was the RFK car, the other RFK car.
Everyone just keep coming in and letting Elliot know that he's wrong.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I would love to see someone win at Watkins that hasn't won a race, that's on the bubble to make it in, because I do enjoy the celebration. I think it's cool to see someone make it in that, and also beating someone on points. Okay, that's good, but winning a Cup Series race that must be so hard.
Well, another one's just come in from our lovely Patreon members. Surian said Connor versus SVG at the Glen will be great. So Connor's in Cup too.
Yeah.
So
I feel like Shane will have Connor at the Glen. It's a good rivalry though.
Well, 5 days time, we'll know. 6 days time.
We will. Now, I did have in here Hocevar. Do you think he needs to change how he races or not?
No, I don't. Not how he races, but I do agree with you that he probably needs to find some friends. No one's going to push him to a win at Daytona, or no one's going to help him in a draft.
Yep.
If they think he's a cock.
Yep.
So I don't see anything necessarily wrong with how he's racing, to be honest. Like I haven't seen anything where I've gone, oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Because they all crash into each other every week. So I don't think he's done anything that's different to anyone else thus far. But I do totally agree with you, mate. You need mates out there because a lot of those wins come from pushes from a manufacturer teammate or a teammate or someone that goes, well, I can't win, so I may as well bump you to a win.
Yep. Yeah.
What do you think?
No, I've got nothing to add. It was kind of exactly my thoughts.
Yeah, okay, cool.
I was just curious what you thought. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. I think he's very fast. I reckon he's going to be amazing, but he will mature. I just think his mentality will change and he'll start like Jim Richards would fence you and come and say sorry. He'd fence you he'd race you hard, not fence you. I don't mean to say that, but he'd race you hard and then come and go, oh, sorry, Smiling Jim he was Smiling Assassin.
Yeah.
And that's what I think Hocevar could become. He's clearly a badass racer, but I think he'll start to become more intelligent with how I think he said after the last race, take a number when someone had a problem with him. And I'm like,
you're not helping yourself.
You're not helping yourself.
Like he had a crew chief go and spray him. So
with that kind of shit, you're probably creating more drama than it's worth.
And maybe we don't have optics to everything, because I do think when a crew chief comes down to spray a driver, these are my opinions, either the crew chief's a peanut or you've done something bad.
Yeah.
And usually it's going to be you've done something bad for a team owner or a crew chief to come down and give you a piece of their mind. Because normally the rule of thumb is drivers sort drivers out.
Well, and also I don't think a crew chief has the emotional investment of like adrenaline and they're not caught up in the moment and coming down to have a word. They are a little bit more rational.
Generally smart.
In those moments, they're going to come down and be a little bit calmer than someone who's just taking a helmet off and they're all hot and flustered and they just want to fucking tell you what they think.
Heart rate's not up and...
He's coming down going, pull your fucking head in, mate.
Yeah. So
you take it. I feel like that should hit home a little bit more with Hocevar than maybe a driver that's hot-headed telling him,
totally.
Learn how to fucking drive.
Totally agree with you, mate. Like if an owner comes down to you, that's going to hit more than a guy that you've just duelled for 20 laps. You'd be like, fuck off, mate.
Yeah. But then my one negative on him, because I like him as a race car driver, but I don't think he seems to take in criticism.
I don't think he cares.
I think he's just fucking...
Yeah.
Now, crashes and penalty system.
Okay.
So I put these in here. Todd Gilland, did you see him nail Ty Dillon? Do you remember that? You might not remember that incident. Dylan's number 10, by the way.
No.
It's difficult without seeing the vision.
Just trying to remember which one, but yeah, okay, go for it.
Ty came off worse. So in that incident, No penalty.
Yeah.
Hocevar and Zane Smith. Now, Hocevar did make a mistake, got loose and ran up into Zane Smith and fenced him. It wasn't intentional.
Is that a part of the drama of the Gen 3? The next gen?
It could be, but my point is, like, and then Zane Smith actually went to punt him later.
And missed him.
And missed him.
Swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss. But
I thought that was a pisser.
My point is, I don't ever love the 5 or 10 second penalties most categories hand out because it kind of just, it fucks the race. And on an oval, they're racing so close that a 5 second penalty would put you last. Drive-through penalty ruins the race, takes a good driver out of contention. I think NASCAR have got to implement maybe a penalty system which is a point system. Something that's like if you wreck like 5 drivers in the season, you set out one, or you get a PLP in the next race. Something
like a demerit point system.
There
is that what you're
has
saying?
to be
like a demerit point.
100%.
So like if you cause a couple of wrecks or whatever,
Yep.
yeah, you get grid place penalty or some form of you miss around or whatever.
Yeah. Because I posted on our socials our clip about how there was the crash with Austin Dillon getting benched for a week. I get that he hooked him.
Yeah.
I get that. You bench the guy. It's really bad. But then there's drivers that make mistakes, which just fuck a car and take a driver out of a race. And they go, he made a mistake. And he came and said, sorry. So we're all good. Chase Briscoe, honestly, was the worst of everyone on the weekend. He literally just cleared the brake, got in the rear quarter of Reddick, pushed him up into Seabell, fenced 2 cars, pressed on. Where did he finish in the race? It was like, where did he finish? Seabell?
It was a second or third?
Briscoe, second?
Second.
And I'm like, making a mistake is not an excuse. That's a fuck up. You get penalised for that anywhere in the world.
I just think it's a culture thing that they've developed in stock car racing and NASCAR
It's
racing.
bumper car racing, dude. It's not.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying.
Motorsport.
No, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, dude. I'm just saying, we're not going to change a culture that's been there since the moonshining days.
Yeah, but then
of how they go racing, because you look at it, it's all the way through stock car racing, mate. Like from the junior ranks all the way up to NASCAR, they're doing this shit. They're running across the bloody racetrack and double kicking through a windscreen of a late model race when someone turns something. Like it's.
But then why does Hocevar need friends? Just go unload everyone.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Like if I was Hocevar, I'd go, well, I don't need friends. 9 out of 10 races, I'll clear the brake, get in your rear bar, fence you, say it was a mistake, move on. Don't hook anyone because that's obvious. We've realised that hooking.
Yeah.
But it looks like if you get down the inside and someone starts to close the door, you can just clear the brake. Because my question was, in all of these incidents that I mentioned, so Nemechek into Bubba, Bubba Wallace got wide after he got hit by Nemechek, broke the rear right.
Got in the rear.
Would have been like a Watts linkage back in the day in supercars.
Toe link.
Yep. We would have broken the toe link in NASCAR. Like that probably was.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that was
would
what it was.
have been his toe link. Yeah.
So he's wobbling, and then he caused another crash further back. That was an incident where Nemechek, he had a run. He could have just lifted off the gas, but instead he just stayed full throttle and then just tagged Bubba. He'll go, "Oh, it was a mistake," and they press on, no penalty. Do you like the way they go about racing though, or do you think they should implement penalties? That's the question. That's what I wanted to get to. Do you think it's better what we do out here? I think it's somewhere in between of what we do out here and what they do there.
I think I just go back to how we're taught over here. You need to be under control while you're trying to make the pass. And if you are and you make contact and you're under control and there's no wheels locked, well, then it's probably hard racing or old mates turn down on you. If you've got a wheel locked and you're out of control, then you probably deserve a penalty.
Yeah. No,
that's how we see it, right?
Yep. And the Hill one is a totally different. That's intentional, right?
Yeah.
Like Zane Smith. Should Zane Smith be getting sat down right now?
Well, considering he swung and missed, that's almost worse. That's to me, that's no different to. I mean, we've referenced this stuff in the past, like where King hits someone out the front.
Yeah.
Like it's a dog act. Should never happen. If someone's done that and missed, that still to me is like as much as if they made contact.
You can't always base the penalty on the outcome.
Yeah, so for me, like that stuff for sure, if I was NASCAR, I'd be like, well, you might not have succeeded.
But there's a draw, yeah.
But you tried, and if you had, it would have been in the fence and potentially an injured driver or damaged gear. So we're going to do you on it.
Yeah, like Zane Smith showed that he's prepared to hurt a driver.
And you look like a Billy. So it should be like, I would almost be like, one, you look stupid because you didn't even get the crash.
Yeah.
So we lost the entertainment value of it. And two, you've tried to bin someone. So I think it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Because, and on the post, there was a lot of people saying, like, with the hook, it being intentional. I think the benching him was that was the right decision. I'm with it.
Yeah, Bobby Hill.
But it was people saying, others made mistakes. I'm like, yeah, that's why it's a penalty. I thought that's motor. If you like lock it inside front and T-bone something, that's just.
Yeah, sorry, you fucked up.
You fucked up. That's why you get a penalty for fucking up.
Yeah. Some of their racing is amazing, like the drafting duels they have and all that stuff they do at such an incredibly high level, and it's amazing. But then there's just some things where we just obviously don't understand because we don't have that over here.
Well,
where you just go, wow.
Yeah. And I can imagine NASCAR wants to be taken seriously globally. And I think when you're able to just like T-bone someone and it be an accident and get away with it is a bit. And especially because I'm starting to go for people now. And in the race, I'm like,
you're invested, mate.
I was fucking going for that guy. Like, Seabold was like one of my favourite drivers. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? He just got T-boned and now there's nothing for it.
That is what creates, which we miss in Australia, the rivalry zone stuff.
It does.
And why people.
But then Seabold was too lovely to go out and settle the score. But Seabold, that's why Briscoe.
That's why you'll back a horse and you'll go, fuck that guy, I don't like that guy. So, I mean. And we got to remember, NASCAR and America as a whole are so good at the entertainment side of sport. NBA is amazing. Ice hockey is amazing. Football, NASCAR. So they know what they're doing because it creates, like, yes, it might be a negative over here, but it adds a fair bit of positive over here.
Is it adding more positive than negative?
Like,
I'm with you, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm tipping there's some pretty smart people at NASCAR.
I'm just butthurt because my favourite driver got
but that's why I think it's a good thing too, because then you'll go, next time you'll go, I'm rooting against this guy for sure. I'm buying his T-shirt.
Yep. Before we wrap it up, we'll say goodnight, everyone, but I just want to
3 hours of streaming.
I just want to remind you, though, that Hamlin had a nightmare. He had no pace all weekend. I know he's your favourite driver. So
boy spun.
He spun on his own as well.
Oh, look, every dog has their day, don't they?
Yep. We'll end it on that note for you. You're devastated.
I need some time to get over that.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Sub to Patreon if you can. Hit subscribe on our YouTube.
Yep.
Give us a thumbs up. Hopefully you enjoyed the live stream, everyone that's on our Patreon right now. I'm off to the Supercars this weekend. And we're back for Watkins Glen is this weekend.
Yep. And then we will be debriefing QR and obviously seeing how you went, mate, on the broadcast.
Yeah.
And then, we've got Watkins Glen, which will be great. So tune into your motorsport. Make sure you tune in and watch Scotty in his crisp white shirt over the weekend. As we mentioned in this pod and the other pod, if you're not a member of Patreon, jump on because you will be able to talk to Scotty before his segments and maybe contribute a little bit to the broadcast or at least to the sections that Scotty's going to be talking about. So make sure you log on to that and get stuck into him.